Hiya, welcome back to Sport on 7. Big results to come as we get closer to the business end of so many seasons. First, though, I'm with a new and improved Chris McHardy. First things first, then, for Sport on 7 with Chris McHardy this week. Have you noticed anything different about him? Have a closer look. The arms, bulging, aren't they? Look at these. He's had his first ever gym session in the last 7 days. How did it go?
Very well, Tom, thank you. I think it's worrying. You recently turned 30, Tom, and I just thought I better get to the gym because I'm a little bit worried to turn out like yourself. So that was the influence behind that.
It's all right. You won't wear pyjamas when you turn 30. Right, let's get on with sport over the last 7 days in the UAE. It's been a big time. The Abu Dhabi HSBC Golf Championship was announced, happening in January, and to begin with, two big names in the world of golf coming back to Abu Dhabi in January.
Well, they don't get much bigger, Tom. Rory McIlroy, Tiger Woods, world's number 1 and 2, both confirmed for January's competition in Abu Dhabi. As I say, it doesn't get much bigger than that. Obviously, organisers looking to go one better than in 2012. 82,000, a record number of spectators poured through the national course. And really, with those two big names, you expect them to break that record. Of course, as well, other big names expected in the coming weeks. The likes of Bubba Watson has been mentioned. I must stress at this point, no confirmation on that. But it's all set up to be a wonderful tournament come January.
Rory McIlroy will, of course, be going to Abu Dhabi as world number 1, like Luke Donald did last January. He didn't actually have a great performance last January. Rory McIlroy finished second and will be hoping to go on and win it and get his European tour off to a good start for 2013. However, that European tour may be quite a short one for Rory next season.
Yes, he admitted at the unveiling on Wednesday that he will be playing in Abu Dhabi. He's intending to cut his fixture list next season down from 26 events down to 22 events. I think that's to do with something with making sure he's at the peak form coming into those majors. Of course, he won that second major at the USPGA this past year, so he's looking to cut down, and hopefully he will hope anyway that leads to better performances in the majors in 2013.
January 17th till the 20th is the Abu Dhabi HSBC Golf Championship for next year. Looking forward to that. And as we say, more big names to come, I'm sure. Let's move on to football, local football. Worrying news for Bruno Metsu. Of course, he's only just taken over Al Wasl in the summertime. However, he has fallen ill over the last week. And Chris McHardy, you have more on this because it's not looking too good at the moment, is it?
It's not at all, Tom. It's a story I've been keeping very close eye on over this past week. Bruno Metsu, he was admitted to hospital, American hospital in Udmeta last Sunday, complaining of abdominal pain, and he missed the game, Wasl's game against Jazeera on Monday night. Now, I must stress at this point that it is unconfirmed, but there has been speculation that he is suffering from colon cancer. Now, the club have been very, very serious about this and saying that, to protect Bruno Metsu's privacy, they've not gone on record as saying exactly what his condition is. Doctors, they tell me, are continuing their tests on Bruno, but it really is a sad story. We pray, that the club have told me that it is serious. Obviously, Metsu, as you rightly point out, taken over from Diego Maradona just in the summer. He's had a great start to life in Dubai as well. They've only lost their one game in all competitions, that defeat against Al Dhafra. So fingers crossed it isn't as bad as what the reports are coming out, and Bruno Metsu makes a quick recovery. Now, his assistant, Gio Moroso, he's been placed in temporary charge for the foreseeable future until his condition becomes better known and the doctors know a prognosis for this. But at this moment in time, it's not looking good for Bruno Metsu. And I take it from all of City 7 as well that we wish Bruno Metsu a very speedy recovery in this.
Get well soon, Bruno Metsu. Now staying with football, Alain, and the UAE playmaker, of course, Omar Abdulrahman. Big news for him this week. It's going from strength to strength for him, isn't it?
It very much so is, Tom. I mean, we've obviously discussed Omar a number of times on the show over the past few weeks, but the big news this week, he signed a big new sponsorship deal with Nike. He's the 4th Emirati player to join the big American sports brand after Omar Abdulrahman, the Banias midfielder, Ismail Matar, who of course is the UE skipper, and his club teammate Hamdan Al Kamali. Sources tell me it's a long-term deal for Omar Abdulrahman, a lucrative deal at that, and it just continues his burgeoning reputation. This is a kid who of course turned down a move to Manchester City in the summer. He wants to progress at Al Ain, he wants to lead their AFC Champions League title, and as I say, he's a big name in Middle Eastern football, and I fully expect him to go from strength to strength with Nike, really but at the forefront of that with this new sponsorship deal.
You have to say, don't you, I don't think we'll have him in the UAE for too many years longer. Europe seems to be beckoning for him. Anyway, that's the big stories from the UAE sporting scene this week. Chris McHardy, any big gym trips this week, or have you had your lot?
Probably be going every day this week, Tom.
You need it. We'll see you again next week on Sport on 7 with Chris McHardy from Sport 360. Some of the big results then from the last few days on Sport on 7. Danny Petroza kept his MotoGP Championship fight alive with a win in hazardous wet conditions in Malaysia. Jorge Lorenzo almost crashed from second position before the race was red flagged on lap 14 of 20. There was a confusing 20-minute delay before the decision was made to abandon the race and award full points. Lorenzo now leads the championship by 23 points from Petroza. In Perth, American Bo Van Pelt claimed a maiden tour title in Perth at the weekend on the European Tour. England's Paul Casey finished in the top 5 of a tour event for the first time since his 4th finish in Shanghai almost a year ago. Van Pelt finished 2 strokes clear of Jason Duffner, and Casey was joined by fellow British players David Howe, Scott Jamieson and Rhys Davis in a share of 5th. Caroline Wozniacki secured her 20th career singles title by beating top seed Sam Stosur 6-2, 4-6, 7-5 to lift the Kremlin Cup in Moscow on Sunday. The third-seeded Dane hit back from 3-1 down in the third set to clinch her second title of the season. The former world number 1 is showing signs of returning to her best form after also winning last month's Korea Open. Thanks for watching Sport on 7 this week. Things really are getting quite busy, aren't they? Not only here in the UAE, but around the world. Now, next week, the defending champion of the DP World Tour Championship, Alvaro Quiros, talks to me. He actually may not make it to the tournament he hopes to defend. More on that next week. Until then, have a good one. I'm Tom Bushell. Goodbye.